Alright, Popper people, it is me, 420 Dragon, and before we get into the video, just wanted to ask you kindly to please click the subscribe button down below. It really does help out the channel, and let's get right into it. Okay, so today we are gonna be playing with FAMs. You guys all probably know this is my favorite deck of all time, is the Familiar Strategy, and I thought that it wasn't very good lately, but the other day, I think actually yesterday, I did decide to try it out, and since then I have not actually lost a match playing a more traditional blue-white FAMs build. So I'm currently on a 12 win streak, and we are playing what is basically a pretty traditional FAMs build. I think notable differences is that I actually forgot to put Mortuary Mire in the deck, but I think it's actually pretty nice to not have Mortuary Mire. I think it helps a lot versus the red decks to just be able to not have the extra tap land and not have the off-color source that can make your draws kind of awkward sometimes. And it hasn't come up in any of my games where I've lost due to milling or due to not having double Archaeomancer. The format is pretty fast right now, and a lot of the decks that exist are not really beating you in the late game anyway, so it's not super important to have the Mire, in my opinion. And then the other interesting things about this list is, of course, Prismatic Strands, which I think is very good against the red deck and is kind of necessary in order to beat the red deck. It can also do decent work in game 1 against Terror decks like blue-black. It's even better against mono-blue. And then it's also pretty good versus the green decks, like any sort of Arbor Elf initiative type of deck. And Destroy Evil. I actually like this card a lot. I've been using it instead of Dawnbringer Cleric, as it's a way to deal with any sort of problematic enchantment, namely Makeshift Munitions, as that card, if not answered, can just be a really big headache, making it very hard to ephemerate your Archaeomancer or whatever. So we like to run one answer to that main deck. It is pretty useless versus mono red, but it's really, really nice to draw versus Tolarian Terror strategies, where you're able to have just a way to, no questions asked, kill a Tolarian Terror, because snapping Tolarian Terror is not very nice, as it'll just come back down for 1 mana, and a lot of the time your snap is going to be either mana negative or mana neutral if you're able to have double bounce lands. I guess if you have double bounce lands plus FAM, it can actually make 1 mana, but it's not great considering that the Tolarian Terror only costs 1 mana itself. So yeah, that as far as the main deck goes, those are basically the most notable things. We are only playing 3 snaps. I do like the Lose Focus over Counterspell. I know some people run Counterspell in this slot, but I think Lose Focus is pretty nice. Just you can cast it off Chancery, you can get cost reduced with the FAM, and it only costs a single blue, so it's just a little bit easier to make work. Then, as far as the sideboard goes, we got 5 pieces of Affinity Hate, 4 Dust, 1 Revoke, 2 Journeys, and I haven't actually ever played Journey in FAMs, but I think it's kind of well positioned right now. I think this is one of the better cards versus Tolarian Terror strategies. Notably, when Journey is on the stack, it is not targeting anything, so you do not have to pay a ward cost before your opponent can play Counterspell on it. So this makes it one of the better answers to Tolarian Terror, because it only costs 2 mana while it's on the stack. So if they're going to counter it, you only spent 2 mana, and it's actually, like, most of the time an even trade. Whereas if you're using something like Destroy Evil, you have to pay 2 mana while it's on the stack, and then if your opponent's countering it, they're getting a nice mana advantage, and you're probably kind of sad. So I like Journey for that reason. It can also be decently useful against mono red or just random other strategies. We got 5 Hydroblasts. We really do want to have a lot of hate for the mono red deck. That deck is very, very strong, and if we're not having answers like this and like Strands, we will just get run over and out card advantaged in the late game and be having a bad time. And then as far as these cards, this is kind of our anti-blue package. The negate can also do nice work versus Monvuli Acid Moss or Stone Rain type effects. The Dispel is really nice versus Tolarian Terror strategies. Not a lot of spell starter decks running around right now, so Dispel is definitely at a high power level. And then Mystic Remora is something I've been trying. I did used to have another Revoke in this slot, but I'm trying out the Mystic Remora. I think it is pretty decent versus Affinity. Mainly, it is here to be strong against Blue-Black Terror. But yeah, any sort of blue cantrippy deck, any sort of Tolarian Terror strategy is going to have a hard time dealing with the Mystic Remora. And considering that our deck is having 4 bounce lands, 21 lands, and looking to go into the late game, just playing a Remora and hitting land drops behind it can really just make the Tolarian Terror deck's life difficult, because they're usually playing like something like 18, 17, or 18 lands and a bunch of cantrips, and if you're just able to play Remora and hit your lands, you can just kind of scale up into the late game for free. Or alternatively, they give you a bunch of cards off of the Remora, both of which are pretty good outcomes. So I've been trying that out a bit, and yeah, let's get into a match with it. Alright, boys. Okay, so we are here for a match with the Familiars deck. We got what is a pretty good draw. We are on the draw with the bounce land, so we'll have to discard turn 2 unless we draw like plains or something. And it looks like we're up against the red deck. We do have a Faithful in hand and a Prohibit, so it's not too bad. We're just gonna have to hope that they don't have a super nutty start, because if they do something like Swift Spear Kuldotha here, we'll be in kind of a rough spot. There's another Preordain and a TMA. It's actually kind of interesting. I guess I'll probably actually just keep both here. And we can probably go like Preordain into bounce land here, and then the turn after we can go Godpharaoh's Faithful and TMA. TMA is, I think, one of the better cards in the deck right now. For a long time, I was like kind of resistant, and I wanted to use well, they actually don't attack. They must have misclicked there. And I wanted to use like Seagate Oracle and pretend it's like 2015, but it is not 2015. TMA is pretty good. I think you should play it. I guess I will keep the bounce land here. And I'll just go ahead and discard the Flicker. Flicker's pretty slow, probably not super useful in this matchup. If we need to, we can always get it back with Mancer if we're trying to go for an infinite combo. So opponent goes for Reckless. It looks like they might not be hitting their land. Okay, they do miss the land. That is nice for us. There's a Strands. That is really nice. So let's just go ahead and play Faithful. And TMA here, definitely not block. Because I don't want them to be able to threaten our Faithful. And I'll probably just actually... Yeah, I guess I can keep the Strands in hand here. We can probably just discard like Ephemerate. Is that good? I mean, we could discard the Strands and then just like... Next when we go like Preordain, have Prohibit up, play this. And then we have the Ephemerate for the Muldrifter in a couple turns. Or we could go Preordain next turn, try to Prohibit something. Because the thing is, we're not going to be able to have Strands up next turn with the bounce land. So we'd need to either hit an untapped land off of Modern Age or Preordain, or like miss land, or just not Strands next turn. It's actually kind of an interesting spot. I guess I'll go... I think I do want to just have the Strands in hand. It's just such a powerful effect. So I'll just do this. Maybe I should have discarded the Ephemerate. Having the Preordain to trigger the Faithful is nice. That might have been a mistake. Okay, let's see. So I definitely will not block here. We can just go to 12. Should be totally fine. They're actually going to go synth. Okay, and they do hit a land. Okay, so they get rewarded. Let's hope they don't have a G-Blast. A G-Blast would be kind of annoying. So they do have the G-Blast. That is kind of annoying. They just go for Bolt. They do end up burning the Epicure, though. So it's not the end of the world. It's another Fem. Let's see. It would be really nice to find a Faithful. Okay, we do not find a Faithful. I guess we'll just go Bounce Land and have Prohib up here. Next we can go for like Strands. This is probably a bit of a bad spot now. It was nice that they had the G-Blast for the Faithful. It's pretty annoying for us. See, there was Swift Spear. So if we let this resolve, we're actually just dead to a Bolt. I guess I should probably counter that. I mean, we're dead to double Bolt either way. But I guess countering this is probably fine. Maybe that was bad. I guess if they have like Reckless here, probably a little bit sad. Oh, well, I certainly did not play around that. Okay, that does kill us then. Okay. So I've been liking going with Hydroblast. These things. Destroy Evil's useless. I've been liking actually cutting the 2-mana counters. I think they're not super good. Cutting like one Muldrifter. Maybe we just cut all the DAs and keep the Muldrifter actually. Let's try that. Yeah, I guess we can cut it like a Flicker too and go for just have like a Dispel, I guess. Maybe it's better to have like a Prohibit actually. So Prohibit can deal with Reckless, can deal with the creature. So let's try this. Yeah, we can't really keep this. Alright, this hand is okay. Should put back the Mancer. Go turn 1, we'll fetch the Plains. Let's go ahead and grab the Plains. Next one we'll probably go TMA first. So we'll see what we draw. If we draw like a really nice card, maybe we'll go like if we draw like Faithful, maybe we'll actually go Fam here or Journey, I guess. Yeah, I mean actually maybe we are just supposed to go like Journey, and then that actually gives us a nice tempo play next turn. We go Fam TMA. We are kind of exposed to Kessig, but I think a lot of the lists lately have been cutting down on Kessigs. And I do want to just try to use all my mana efficiently here. So flip a Molten Rain, that's a nice hit for us. It's not there's no way they can cast that this turn. They do have the second land though. They go with another Epicure. Okay. There's the Faithful, okay. So why don't we just go Faithful into TMA here. Start building up a nice little life total. Hopefully we can chain into some more blue cards here. Let's see what we get. There's an island, I'll just go ahead and discard the Barons then. Let's go Synth. Hopefully there's no G-Blast. G-Blast would be pretty annoying here. So we're gonna come in with the attack. I'll go no blocks. I think protecting our Faithful from Bolt is probably worth 1 point of damage. So they do not have it. Then we draw another Faithful. Let's see. So there is another Ash. I guess we could just Ash for Plains here. That actually might not be bad. Let's actually just do that. Let's Ash for Plains and just get our creatures down. The Fam is nice. The Fam can block because I don't really care about the Fam that much. I do want to keep the Faithfuls alive. We are out of juice, but you know, hopefully we're able to top deck into something here like Muldrifter, Preordain. Even Hydros would be okay, though not the best here. We do want to have like something that can make multiple cards. Would be really nice. I mean, even if we are bricking, we're not like taking free damage. We are having the TMA flip over next turn, and we'll actually have a bit of pressure. So it's definitely not a bad spot here. This is a type of spot though where I do kind of wish I had some DAs in the deck. Like, because that's the thing about this red deck, is it's not really a deck that you can just one-for-one trade against. You do need to have some sort of way to break the parity and start getting ahead. We do have like Muldrifter and Ephemerates and stuff, but I mean that is kind of fragile to like bolts or pyros or whatever. Mancer is not a very good draw here. We don't have anything in the yard, so he's going to kill the Fam. Okay. He's going to go Mountain. They're going to attack. I guess at this point, I think I'll probably still not block here. We do have the TMA flipping over next turn, so that'll kind of answer another bolt. There's the Muldrifter. It's a nice draw. Let's go ahead and just evoke that. So I'm going to leave up a white just in case we draw a Fem. Hopefully this does resolve. If they're having Pyro, it would be kind of nice for them here. Okay, so they do have the Pyro. It's annoying. But not the end of the world. We do have this Glider here, so if that goes unanswered, then it's going to stifle a lot of pressure. Maybe at this point we do start blocking with the Faithfuls if the Glider does not survive here. So we'll see what happens. They're going to crack a Blood. Okay. So they're not actually going for the Synth. That's kind of interesting. I would have thought they would go for the Synth. Let's see. They crack both of the Bloods. Okay. Discard 2 Mountains. And they're playing a 2-mana card. Hopefully it's not Reckless. Okay, it looks like it's going to be a double bolt. Okay. That is totally fine. That's probably pretty good for us. So they're going to actually attack with the Epicure. I mean, I will block. Okay. What? Okay, that does not make sense to me. Why they did that. But we draw Preordain. That is a pretty good draw. There's another TMA and a bounce land. We could just go ahead and put the bounce land top here and then draw into the TMA next turn, and then we can actually like convert that land into something. Have 5 mana. That's probably worth doing. Go and pick up the Plains. We're going to attack. Start putting on the pressure. They are a deck with a bunch of card draws, so we don't want to give them infinite time. We do have the Faithful, which can block stuff too. So if they're having like Swift Spear or some sort of Bushwhacker combo. Ooh, Molten Rain is pretty nasty. Okay. Let's go ahead and play TMA. Play it first, just in case we draw like, if we draw like another Chancery, I'd probably keep that and play that. It's a Journey. I think we do want to just keep the land though. Lands are pretty important. This makes Mancer a playable draw. We can go Muldrifter into Ephemerate or whatever, and it just makes our Preordains better. It just kind of lets our deck work. We do kind of need to have a decent bit of lands here for our deck to function. That's the thing about this red deck. They're pretty nice at grinding. Like, they are kind of grinding us out here. Granted, we do have a God for us Faithful, so we should be decently hard to kill. And if we do start chaining off, if we do hit into the Muldrifter Ephemerate, it'll be pretty nice. So let's see what we can do here. So Faithful, let's see what we hit. Fam, I'll go ahead and just keep the Faithful. So we got 2 Faithfuls here. I guess I'll leave back the Glider. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's probably not much of a reason for us to be trading damage. We should probably just be the defense here. They did sack the Furnace to the Kuldoth. That's kind of interesting. It's definitely an interesting play. So they go Synth into Star. Mountain. What is this? Chain the Glider. Okay. It's fine. They're out of cards. And we are going to be taking 2. We do have another Glider coming down next turn, though. So that will make their life a little bit harder. And we drop Preordain. Alright, that is pretty nice. It's going to gain us some life and hopefully find us a piece of juice here. So Flicker and a Drifter. Drifter is definitely what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and evoke that. Now we have 2 cards instead of 1. Hopefully, unless they crack into Pyro. They actually just leave the game. Okay, cool. I don't know why they left the game. I feel like there was definitely still some game to be played there. But whatever. I guess let's cut Prohibit and let's add back a DA. That game was a little bit worrisome just with the amount of cards that we had. It's pretty low. So let's try to make that higher. Alright, this is pretty good. So we'll go ahead and fetch the plains here, and then turn 2 we can go grab the island and have Hydro up. To go Epicure. If we draw island off the top, that'd be really nice. There it is, baby. There it is, baby. Let's go. So that is really nice. That makes it so that we are not getting Kuldotha so easily. They're going to need to have land Kuldotha plus Pyro in order to resolve that. So let's see what they do here. They do have the land. They go for Kessig. Yeah, I'll just take out the Kessig. That card is not really a card I want to mess around with. It's like the anti-faithful. So let's just go ahead and play Obs. Go ahead and grab a Plains. I think I'll just wait here and use the Barrens to fetch another island. Or I guess maybe Plains if they destroy our Plains or something. Go Synth, okay. Reckless. Hopefully they don't have another land. Well, they get to play Reckless, okay. Swissbeard Chain. That's pretty good stuff, man. Okay. So let's go fetch. Grab the island. There's the Faithful. Okay, okay. So we can go Faithful, Preordain here. I probably would play the Preordain before this, just in case we hit the Hydro. That would be like a nice, easy way to start winning. We could just go Faithful into TMA. I think we definitely play Faithful. So I'll go with the Preordain here. Let's try to find a Hydro. Oh. Ooh, I can't really say no to that, can I? Yeah, I can't really say no to that. Okay, let's keep those. Let's play Island. I don't want to play this because then we'd have to shuffle. Next, we could probably go Faithful into TMA. Let's see how they play this out here. Start with the Swift Spear. Okay. Go with the Chain onto the Faithful. Okay. So let's see. Next turn, we actually probably just go Strands here. They're going to go with another Chain onto the Faithful. Okay. So that's pretty good for us. It's definitely not bad. We get the 2-for-1 value. They go another land and a Star. So they're not having too much pressure here. This is not a bad spot. I think I'll probably just get the Strands off next turn, and then we can have Faithful and have the Strands up to protect. Should be pretty good. Let's see. There's an argument to get Plains. But I guess I'll just go... I think I just go Island, though. Let's just go pass with the Strands up. We're at 15. The Lifeland's doing a nice little job here. They're going to crack. Discard a Mountain. Okay. Oop. And they got another Swift. It'd be sick if they play a Burn spell. Crack this. Okay. Oh, they do just play a Burn spell. Alright, well, let's get them here. Let's give it to them. This should be pretty hard to defeat from the opponent here. I think this Strands is doing the Lord's work here, boys. This Strands is fucking goated. Look at that, 8 damage, 1 card. That's a lot of value. Okay, so let's go. Damn, I wish I got a Plains now. But whatever. Let's go this thing. TMA. Find another Faithful. Well, I guess I'll keep it. Miss land this turn, but we do get to have another Faithful for it. So it's probably worth. Go Synth. Okay, okay. It's totally fine. Flip into Fire Blast. Alright, that's totally fine. See if they cast it. That'd be totally fine. So it looks like they're going to decide against casting it. I'll block a Swift Spear here. Yeah, I'll block a Swift Spear. So take the 3, that's totally fine. See if they end up deciding to use the Fire Blast. We do have the Strand, so we can protect the Faithful if we want to. And if they do end up doing that, then they're not having mana to crack the Synths. So it's kind of a tricky spot that they're in here. Looks like they decided against it, because it would have been good for them to use it. No, I guess it wouldn't have been good into Strands. So, actually, it's kind of not true what I was going to say. Okay, so they do go for the Fire Blast onto the Faithful. And I will go for the Strands. Looks like they're having the Bolt. Okay, that's totally fine. Okay. So they're out of stuff. We could just play... Ooh, there's a Snap. Ooh. Ooh. So there's not a way that we can do everything here. I guess part of me wants to just go Moldrafter or Ephemerate. I think that's probably just the play. And get rid of the bounce land, I guess. We'll probably hit some sort of land. Go let's just go for this. If we don't hit a land, it's kind of unlucky, but also not the end of the world. We'd have these snaps, which will do pretty good work. So they find a Kuldoth. Okay. Hopefully they don't find a removal for the Muldrifter. That'd be pretty annoying. Okay, it's just an Epic Hooray. That's totally fine. That is totally fine. So we're going to get to Fem the Drifter here. Flip over a 2-3. Play Faithful. Snap some shit. Snap the Goblins, probably. Take the 4. Just because the other stuff is not really super good to snap. Doesn't really do anything to snap those. Let's see what we hit here. No lands. It's annoying. I mean, we can preordain, try to hit a land that way. Let's go preordain first. If we hit a bounce land, then our snaps will actually make some mana. So let's go ahead and do this first. There's a Tranquil Covey. It's probably worth keeping. I don't think we need Journey at this point. We have one in hand already, and it's just not super strong. Let's go snap. Snap. And then we could Journey or we could TMA here. That's probably better to just TMA. Just get that card selection going. Gain a life off the Faithful. It's another Drifter. I'll probably just get rid of the other TMA here. Should be fine. We can save the we can save the Journey in case of like Kasig. Kasig would be kind of annoying. Kind of something that we have to remove. Because we can't start just Mansering a Fam though. They just draw land, so play it. Crack Synth, okay. So they're really not doing anything this turn. They can't really attack either. They'd have to sack 2 guys for 2 damage, which is probably not worth. Okay. If we draw another... Okay, so we draw a bounce land. Ooh, there's the island. Alright, that is really nice. So I'm going to keep the island. I'm going to play the island. Go ahead and Mancer back the Ephem here. We can just Ephem, grab back the Hydro, and it should just basically be GG at that point. Counter whatever they draw. And that's it. Alright, well thanks for watching, boys. Just a quick little 1-match video here. We have got 13 wins in a row with this deck now. So, I think if you're looking for a deck and your meta looks anything like the meta on Magic Online, I would recommend this deck right now. I'll have the deck list down in the description for you guys. I do think that this is pretty strong. I think if you want a more tried and true version, if you expect a lot of affinity, I'd probably get rid of the Remora, just add another Revoke. Could add another Journey maybe. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for watching, boys.